Hi there.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. I am Chidi Akunna.
And I'm Victor Akunna.
Alright, so if you're watching this, you might be on our YouTube channel, Foundation for Family Affairs. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you're notified when we drop our content. And to every returning subscriber, I would like to say thank you. Thanks for engaging with us again and again. We appreciate you all.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, so this is the second part of the previous video. I forgot to tell you that at Foundation for Family Affairs, our mission is simple: to connect hearts and raise healthy families. So today we'll be talking about 5 ways people sabotage their marriage, and this is the second part. I like the way you're looking at me. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, and this is the second part. So if you haven't seen the the part 1 of it, please get on. We shared 5 points you would want to hear about. Okay, so in this video we'll be sharing 5 points, and I'll let you give some context before we go in.
Yeah, when we look up the topic, the word sabotage it came up to say that is when you deliberately destroy or abandon something. All right, basically I think it's deliberately destroy or damage. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. To damage something that is of value, because you don't want it to get to the hand of the opponent. So that now brings up the question: is this an adequate, appropriate word for this relationship or for marriage, rather? So, and what that means is that some people within this context, some people unintentionally sabotage.
Yes.
They do things that, even the word self-sabotage, some people do things that harm themselves. So there are things that you might be doing, or somebody you know might be doing, that they may not realize that is sabotaging their own marriage. So on one end, they want a great marriage, but they are doing things, making that impossible to create. And so that's why we want to look at this, to be able to pull up some of these things that we might be unintentionally doing, harming our relationship, hitting the core of our intimacy.
Okay, so if you know friends who this might be of use to, please send it to them. Okay, of what use is it that people around you don't enjoy their marriages like you're enjoying yours? If you are, so come on, let's be generous.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
The first point to be sharing in this video is excessive criticism and blame game. Excessive criticism and blame game. When we talk about criticism, we're not talking about constructive criticism, because of course your spouse should be able to give you constructive criticism.
Yes.
Okay, he should do that best for me because he knows me well.
Yep.
All right, he knows my blind spots, and I want to believe that for any couple listening to this, hopefully your spouse knows you that much to know areas that are in your blind spots, so they could from time to time give you constructive criticism. But when it's now excessive criticism, just picking on things, they're never satisfied with what you do. Okay, there's always a fault with what you do. Then it's something to beware of. Do you do that to your spouse? Probably you just see something he does, you're always out to criticize. Oh, okay, how come it's this? You walking into the house, oh, how come it smells kind of funny? They should be, they're good, okay, but when it becomes extreme, and you how would you know it's extreme? Your spouse is now comfortable. All right, your spouse is always on edge. Yes, okay, you're coming in or has done something and would just be wondering, I don't know how he or she's going to take it. Then you need to look into it and look at how you want to review things.
Absolutely. I like what you said. Your spouse is always guarded. Anytime your spouse is always uptight, you don't know what is it again, kind of response. You have to begin to watch your tongue. All right. Again, sometimes we might not realize that we are like this. You might be doing it because that's how you were raised. All right. So you probably lived with a mom that even after you've done all the work, the only thing she will observe is that thing that you didn't do right. That thing, or you will live with a guardian, with your dad, with anyone, that they always look out for what to blame. And you have developed this as a habit over a period of 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. It's going to be difficult for you to learn this habit. But without you learning it, you might be sabotaging your marriage. Why? Because you are causing unnecessary pain. When your spouse begin to guard their emotion because they don't know what you are going to say, that even you don't know what you're going to say. As you are walking into the house, you don't know, you just look out for what is not working out. Why is this here? Why is this plate here? Why is that there? And that's your natural first disposition, you might need to watch it because you might be you might be self-sabotaging, you might be sabotaging your marriage without you realizing it. The fact that your spouse may not be talking does not mean it's not true. Sometimes people that's why you see some people, they just get to that point, you know what, I've had it, and they are walking away. And you're like, no, he never complained. Yes, she never complained. That was never, we had a great marriage. No, you never. In your marriage, in your perspective, you had, but for them, maybe they didn't just stop.
Yes. Okay, and then blame game. That's when you get to that point where for everything that happens, you're blaming the other.
Yes.
Okay.
If you had.
Yes, exactly. And another way I like to look at it is never taking responsibility. Okay, something goes wrong, it's never you. Okay, and you forget that whatever would have happened in a situation takes the people involved in it. Okay, so do not be always fast to point an accusing finger to your spouse. Oh, if you had done this, like you were saying earlier, it was you who did this. It was because you did that. You know, so
because you didn't do this. Sorry for interrupting.
Yes, no, it's fine. Okay, so we need to be very careful with things like this. Watch how we're quick to react when something happens.
There's something about blame that just makes the other person, you know, one of the things that we try to help couples to do is to create that ambient, that emotional safety, where your spouse can feel relaxed and be themselves and let down their head. So if after they've been to work and all this baking and all this, you know, all they have to go through to get things done at work, and they're coming home when they're supposed to relax, and then you have someone who's always blaming, it's very exhausting and tiring.
Yes. Okay, so the second point we're going to share with you is excessive control. Excessive control. Sometimes it might look so cool, like a man just says to his wife, I love you so much. I don't want you to work. I don't want you to, those friends are not good for you. I wouldn't want you to interact with anyone. It might seem like, you know, you're so loved.
It's romantic,
okay, but you need to be careful. All right, and even if it's you who is doing that, you need to review things.
Absolutely.
You might be getting into control.
Absolutely.
Okay, people should be themselves. The fact that we're together does not mean I should lose my individuality in the relationship. Okay, so my uniqueness should find expression in the marriage. So don't be so controlling. Oh, where are you going? Why do you want to go there? No, don't get me wrong. There are times your spouse should be able to call you out on certain things. Okay, but when it becomes excessive, then we need to be checking: is this really love now or control?
Fantastic.
Okay, so some of those things should
sometimes it shows up when you want to be the one that will make all the decisions, all the important. You don't want to you are not even listening to your spouse's perspective. All right, because maybe you are the one who earn more, so you're just trying to control everything. You are trying to determine how she lives her life or how he lives his life. You're trying to minimize his friends, right, or her friends. You're trying to cut off his or her interaction with their extended family. All the support system around that person, you are finding one fault or the other. Know that these people are, no perfect individual.
No.
All right, but you're just trying to minimize because you want to cut them off from all the support system so that you'll be their almighty. All in all. No, that's not healthy.
Yeah.
That's not healthy for you. That's not healthy for her as well. So that's very important.
Okay, so point number 3. Excessive attachment to your devices, your job, or other relationships. Okay, I like that. Okay, excessive attachment. And now sometimes we do not realize that this inhibits connection between you and your spouse because you're always stuck on your phone, so you're never present. Okay, something is happening. There are times you walk into certain homes and it's like, they're always on the phone. The child walks in and sometimes you hear some parents sometimes say, oh, when did you get back? Okay, we must get to that point where yes, I know it's a busy world now, we have a lot to grapple with, all we have to do, but we must get to the point where our spouses and our children get our attention.
Fantastic.
Okay, they deserve our attention.
Fantastic.
All right.
Fantastic. And the same thing for your spouse, where your spouse is talking to you, you're like, yeah. What did I say?
To be honest, that happened to me one time. Okay, I was so stuck on for a period. Okay, I was trying to prepare something. It was for a big case. Okay, and I was on and on and on. And my husband kind of called my attention to it and said, "Have you not noticed that sometimes I'm talking to you, you don't even know when I've stopped?" And I was like, "What? What did you just say?" So yes, we need to catch ourselves.
We need to catch ourselves.
So we don't get to that point where it becomes excessive.
Absolutely.
And then starts doing harm to the marriage.
Absolutely. Because like you said, if the person is not present, it means that you're not having deep and meaningful conversations. And that's what brings intimacy and what brings a bond between couples. Yeah.
Okay, so it could be your devices, it could be your job, okay, it could be other relationships. That excessive attachment should be checked.
Yes. So it's not wrong for you to have other relationships. The key word here is excessive. All right, where you are spending more time at work, more than your spouse. You are spending more time with other people more than you're spending with your spouse. All right, so it's different if there is a project you're working on, so you have to be around these people all the time, but you must invest time with your own spouse, with your own marriage.
Okay, so the next point we have for you here is taking each other for granted. Sometimes it sounds so flimsy and we don't realize that it happens, when we're talking about excessive control, one thing I forgot to throw in there sometimes is controlling the other's ideas as well. Okay, so you get to that point where people can think for themselves, right? So it just came to me. So talking about back to taking each other for granted, you just get to that point where we get so used to each other that you're like, oh well, that's, and then he is trying to share an idea that somebody else will consider great, but because I no longer see the greatness in him, I no longer appreciate that. I don't realize that I just discount those ideas. Okay, and the interesting thing, like you would often say, somebody else comes to share that idea with me, and I would like, oh yes,
that's the best idea since sliced bread. So that's not a good one where people begin to take each other for granted. You stop saying thank you, stop saying please, you stop being courteous, you stop doing those things that usually you would do that wow your spouse, because you just be like, she will always be there, he will always be there, he will always forgive you, he will always understand, I have the best husband, he just forgives you, and then you keep doing things that hurts him, or hurts her.
Yes. In saying this, sometimes I know it will be a bit extreme to say this, but it's just something to help us put things in perspective. Okay, you need to ask, if this were my boss, would I be doing this to him or her? You're laughing. Like you think it's okay to walk out on your spouse. Would you do that at work?
Some people will say to you that, well, it's not my boss.
But
the point I know you are trying to point at is, something is wrong, right? Because the only reason why you are doing it is because nobody knows it, because your spouse is still
we're now used to each other.
Used to each other, taking each other for granted. And
he will forgive, he'll come around.
Yes.
Okay, so we need to be very careful with that. I'll let you take the last point, which is poor self-image. Yeah.
So basically what that has to do with, sometimes some people feel they are not worthy of their spouse. So you keep saying, oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, I'm so dumb. Oh, you are smarter than me. Oh, you are. At some point it might sound flattery to your spouse, but after a while, it begins to sound cheesy. Nobody wants to be married to. I mean, after all the women I saw, I married someone, and then you are telling me you're not smart. It means I made a bad choice. It's not flattering at all. So you want confidence, it attracts you. You want a spouse who you can see that fire in her eyes. She's a go-getter. She's smart. She believes in her own idea. She holds her own ground. All right, even while you're not, if you're not around, she can drive things. She can make things happen. That's the kind of spouse that people get attracted to. Not this me and you're feeling like you are in their life because you just out of pity you're married. No, you want somebody who will make your blood flow, who will make you feel active, who will make you feel proud. And that's what people also want. So never get to that point where you just begin to use wrong words on yourself. Oh, I'm this, I'm that, oh, me. No. say good things about yourself. If you have to do it in the mirror, in your closet, do that until your self-confidence kicks in.
And the spouse of such a person can help the person as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes, if you're irritated like that, you can find a way that would get through to that person.
Yes.
To communicate that, to let the person know, I don't appreciate this. Okay. If really you feel irritated about it, but no spouse should be comfortable with that. People should blossom in your presence.
Absolutely.
Okay. People should feel better or be better for marrying you. Okay, there should be an improvement.
Fantastic.
So if that person keeps speaking down on him or herself, then you might want to do something. I think we've had this where we've had spouses who enroll their spouses on our intimacy builder program because they just want something for that spouse.
Yes.
Now they know that okay, there's a problem here. I can't fix it.
Yes.
But I'm going to introduce you to someone, to some people who would help you. And I mean, they've been better for it. They've been better for it.
Fantastic.
So you might, if you don't have the, if you don't know the how to, you can't get people, okay, to assist with that. Yes, but don't leave your spouse like that. Okay.
That's it.
All right. So, like I said earlier, if you are happy to enroll on our Intimacy Builder coaching program, it's an 8-week program. Okay, feel free to hit the link on the description box and fill the form, and we'll pick it up from there. Okay, it's a transformational process. I mean, it's you'll be happy you enrolled. Just keeping it simple.
One of the reasons why we focus on intimacy is because once you are connected with your spouse at a certain deep and meaningful level, your finances will be in alignment.
Yes.
Your sex will be much better. Your conversations will be much richer. Conflict management will be much better. So it's not just intimacy is something that we work on. Mental intimacy, financial intimacy. Once we work with you on that, a lot of these issues that you're having will be fixed. Because once you deal with the roots, the trunk and the leaf will sort themselves out.
All right. So until we come your way again, it's been great doing this with you. Do not forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit the bell next to it so you're notified when we drop our content.
Absolutely.
If you've loved this video, hey, give it a thumbs up. Okay. And if you have other points you think we may not have touched on, feel free to drop them in the comment section. And let's learn together. We'll be happy to read from you.
Fantastic.
Okay. Until we come your way again, it's goodbye from us.
Bye.